A wonderful evening greetings to you. Thank you for joining us on Kwara TV main news. Kwara TV is on Star Times, channels 113 and free to air, channels 502, and you can also watch and stream live on Facebook and YouTube at Kwara TV. I'm Funke Olutimlei, and with me on the news tonight
I am Kamil Sadiq. Thank you for joining us.
We also have on the notice stand
Eku belozi lokaci akwai yalla baris biya da game za yikin kwara na ci fo apata ya ko bona ti free tv kuba be shishun cha tuba ti start am shishun cha tugo te at Kwara tv etu ato yan facebook na mala lo zoni biya na suna mi kolo jia yaya
e kale ni gbogbo bi ti e ba ti mo wa test wo wa eyin le se mo ma ran ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó kalẹ̀ sí apata ya kuba nílùú Ìlọrin ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ la mọ́tàn ìwà Ọlájídé Ibrahim ní orúkọ tèmi.
Now the news. President Bola Tinubu on Monday described banditry and terrorism as alien to Nigerian culture and a major economic hindrance requiring immediate solutions. Tinubu made this known while speaking at the opening of the two-day National Economic Council Conference at the State House of Congress Center Abuja, pledged to find means to crush the activities of bandits and terrorists who he said had kept Nigerians sleepless. The president's remark came against the backdrop of deadly bandit attacks across multiple states, particularly the February 3rd massacre in Woro and Nuku communities of Kayama local government area of Kwara State, where at least 162 residents were killed by suspected Islamic extremists. The president also linked the security challenges to his administration's livestock reforms, insisting that the NEC conference must produce resolutions on ranching and livestock investment as a pathway to ending farmer-elder clash. He pledged that his administration would strengthen security forces to defeat the menace.
Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak on Monday summoned an emergency security council meeting at the Ahmadu Bello House in Ilorin to boost the security situation in the state and protect lives and property. The meeting, which followed the recent terrorist attack in Kayama, received briefings from all the security commanders and strategies to neutralize all threats as well secure lives and property. The governor, who is the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, was earlier scheduled to address the National Economic Council Conference, which is holding in the nation's capital, Abuja, today and tomorrow.
All the 7 construction workers recently kidnapped in Owaoniri community of Ifelodu local government have regained their freedom. The Commissioner for Works, Abdukowi Olododo, confirmed their freedom today in a statement issued by the press secretary of the ministry, Olajide Abolarin. He commended Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak and the security forces for their efforts towards strengthening public safety across the state. The statement revealed that the abductees include 2 engineers of the State Ministry of Works.
Stormed the entrance of the National Assembly complex in Abuja, demanding clarity on the mandatory electronic transmission of election result amid controversies surrounding it. The demonstrators vowed to confront lawmakers over a report that the Senate rejected a clause requiring the mandatory electronic transmission of election result. The upper chamber, however, issued clarifications denying any complexity in its position, while the protesters insisted that the legislation explicitly include the phrase real-time electronic transmission. Report indicated that a heavy security presence was deployed at the scene with personnel from the Nigeria Police Force, Nigerian Army, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, maintaining law and order as the demonstration unfolded.
The decision of the Nigerian Senate to reject electronic transmission of results, despite approval by the House of Representatives, has started to generate reactions from Nigerians. Kwara TV sampled the opinion of a cross-section of respondents in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to know the disposition of the people to this development. Sulaiman Hassan has reported that the development is coming ahead of the building up towards 2027 general elections. His report is presented from our studio.
The proposed amendment to Nigeria's Electoral Act has sparked another round of controversy. The bill, which aimed to strengthen the country's electoral system, align it with current realities, was approved after lawmakers engaged in debate and clause-by-clause consideration. One of the major decisions taken by the Senate, which has generated public outcry, was the rejection of the proposal to make the electronic transmission of election results from polling units to the Independent National Electoral Commission's results viewing portal mandatory after vote counting. Instead, the Senate retained the provision in the 2022 Electoral Act that allows election results to be transmitted to the collation center under Clause 60. Speaking on the development, Chairman of the Nigeria Bar Association, Ilori Branch, Suleiman Hassan Kosemani, posited that Nigeria's electoral process is experiencing improvements. Lessons should be drawn from past elections to strengthen future ones. He argued that while electronic transmission could enhance free and fair elections, any rejection or observation by the public should be pursued through sustained citizen engagement with their representatives in both chambers of the National Assembly. He noted that without legislative approval, which required the concurrence of majority electronic transmission, cannot be implemented.
What people need to do is to call upon representatives both at the lower and the upper chamber to ensure that this is what we want from you. And by the time we get to the National Assembly, ensure that we pass a bill into law for our results to be transmitted electronically.
Other respondents expressed displeasure over the Senate's decision to reject electoration. They emphasized that the country can leverage technology to ensure the nationwide transmission of election results.
In a country like this, we should be able to transmit all these things online. You see, I know we shall get there anyway, but then we have to start from somewhere.
They are giving that as an excuse based on the fact that some rural areas don't actually have access to internet. It's an absurd and an unreasonable point based on the fact that the world has advanced so much that we now have Starlink. They can make use of that to transmit the election. And
in the meantime, reactions continue to pour in from civil rights organizations, political parties, and other stakeholders calling on the Senate to implement a law mandating the electronic transmission of election results. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio had said lawmakers deliberately removed the clause mandating real-time electronic transmission of election results because of concerns that enforcing real-time transmission could trigger legal disputes if network failures occurred during election.
We pause now to go on a short break. Join us after the timeout for more.
Ẹ̀yin tèmi, oúnjẹ ti délẹ̀ o. Sí àsìtò gbà yìí.
Welcome back from that timeout. The First Lady of Kwara State, Ambassador Olufolake Abdulrazak, has extended arms of fellowship to students of the State School for Special Needs with the presentation of school sandals and reflective jackets to the school. The gesture, the First Lady explained, is meant to assuage the concerns of parents and guardians in procuring school utensils for their children and ward. Abdulatif Ahmed was at the event for Kwara TV News. His report is presented from our studio.
Presenting the items, which comprised of school sandals and reflective jackets, the First Lady of Kwara State, Ambassador Olufolake Abdulrazak, said the materials represent more than comfort as they embody a new Kwara the Abdulrazak administration is building together with all stakeholders. The Kwara First Lady said the Abdulrazak administration is building a state where every child, regardless of their background, can stride confidently into the classroom, ready to learn, dream, and excel. She emphasized that educating students with special needs in a way addresses their individual differences, saying the varying intervention of the administration are designed to help individual students acquire a higher level of self-sufficiency and successes in the school and their communities.
Educating students with special needs in a way addresses their individual differences. Hence, diverse are designed to help individual students to achieve a higher level of self-sufficiency and success in the school and their communities.
She commended the teachers overseeing the students and reassured that Abdulrazak government will leave no stone unturned in ensuring the repositioning of the institution.
I share with you these items to aid your movement and protect you against traffic. I call on public-spirited individuals and organizations to toe this line and support these students to complement the efforts of the state government in this regard. I urge you, dear students, to be of good conduct and always obey constituted authority in and outside the school, as you are all destined for greatness.
Responding, the principal of the school, Ajia Rashidat Olainka, thanked the First Lady for the gesture, which she noted will go a long way to assist the students of the school.
I was so delighted and honored for the First Lady coming to our school. She's a wonderful woman. We have been hearing all what she has been doing outside, but we bless God that today God make it to be reality to our land here.
Some top government officials who were in attendance lauded the First Lady for the intervention, describing the gesture as historic. Some staff of the school and students who spoke with Kwara TV News about the gesture acknowledged the import of the intervention, which they said are invaluable.
A grassroots mobilizer and development advocate, Aisha Aman Pataki, has sympathized with the people of Woro in Kayama Emirates of Kwara State following the attacks of insurgents on the community. Aisha Aman Patagi, a former commissioner for local government, chieftaincy affairs and community development, described as unfortunate the dastardly incident which resulted in the loss of innocent lives, saying it is deeply devastating and truly heartbreaking. She prayed for the departed souls and condoled the families who have lost their loved ones. The Emir of Kayama, Alhaji Muazu Omar, the entire people of Kayama Emirates and Kwara State government as they mourn what she noted as a grievous loss. She urged relevant authorities to intensify efforts towards restoring lasting peace and ensuring the safety of communities across Kwara North and beyond, saying the killings of innocent citizens is not only disturbing but also underscores the urgent need for a renewed commitment to peace, security and protection of human life. The ex-commissioner reiterated her concerns over the loss, calling on the government at all levels as well as the international community and humanitarian NGOs to urgently provide relief materials and support to the affected communities. She urged relevant authorities to intensify efforts towards restoring lasting peace and ensuring the safety of communities across Kwara North and beyond.
Talking education matters, the federal government has approved the allocation of 6 billion naira for the construction of 3 mega schools in Gombe State. The Minister of Regional Development, Uba Ahmadu, made this known in Kumo, headquarters of Akko local government area, while inaugurating a 250-bed capacity hostel constructed by the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC. The minister said that the 3 schools are to be constructed by the commission. Report says that 3 mega schools are to be located in Dadinkowa, Gombe Central District, Duku, Gombe North Central District, and Kaltungo, Gombe South Central District. The minister said the intervention is part of a broader strategy to make education more attractive, accessible, and competitive, particularly in regions affected by years of developmental challenges. He emphasized that education remains key to catching up with national standards and bridging the educational gap between the Northeast and other parts of the country. Ahmadu further acknowledged the effort of the Gombe State government, commending its collaboration with the NEDC to ensure that education in the state remains affordable and attractive to all interested learners. He described the partnership as a model for sustainable educational development and regional growth.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, has warned candidates against committing registration infractions or violating the attestations signed during registration. The board registrar, Professor Isaac Oloide, gave the warning as the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination registration, which commenced on January 26, enter its 3rd week. This is contained in a JAM's weekly bulletin released on its website today. Oloide emphasized the seriousness of registration offenses while speaking with media executives penultimate week. He stated that registration infractions is a serious offense, noting that candidates may be barred from sitting the UTME for up to 3 years. He added that the defaulters who could also be handed over to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, or the Nigerian Police for prosecution. Speaking on the attestation signed by candidates during registration, the registrar said the declaration requires candidates to provide true, accurate information in their applications and supporting documents. The registrar urged candidates to avoid providing frictions information, warning that such actions could jeopardize their chances of gaining tertiary education.
Crossing over to Ondo State, where Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has approved the appointment and confirmation of 32 officers as permanent secretaries in the state civil service in a move aimed at strengthening the administrative structure of government ministries and agencies. The approval was conveyed in a statement issued by the governor's chief press secretary, Ebenezer Adenio, today in Akure. The statement revealed that the appointees include Tayo Gundari, Murayo Philip, Adeyemi Sule, Olufunsho Moniyi, Olanrewaju Abiodun, among others. Ayedatiwa further approved the confirmation of Olushola Sunday Ajayi as Statistician General and Charles Tunde Ojuolakpe as Auditor General for Local Government, subject to clearance by the State House of Assembly. You're still with us on Kwara TV News. It is time to go on another timeout. When we return, we have business, sport, and world news for you. Please join us again.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As Muslims across the globe look forward to welcome the glorious month of Ramadan 2026, a month of blessing and spiritual rejuvenation. Your family-friendly and socially responsible TV station, Kwara TV, transmitting on Star Times 113, Free TV 502, Facebook Live, and other social media handles, has outlined a lot of soul-inspiring programs and Islamic diets for the pleasure of our varying audiences. They include Quran recitation, call to prayer, Ramadan Tafsir, Afikru Islami, Tawriqul Khair, Ramadan Bliss, Mujallisul Ramadan, Iftar and Sahur programs, among other soul-lifting and spiritually beneficial programs. We call on public-spirited individuals and corporate bodies for sponsorship of the various programs lined up for the month. Contact our marketing department or call 006-239-8573. Jazakallahu khairan.
Lenten season. Kwara State Television Authority welcomes the holy season, the season of sober reflection on the death, crucifixion, resurrection, and celebration of redemption of our Lord Jesus Christ on the cross of Calvary for mankind. In commemoration of this holy season, Kwara State Television Authority applies soul-inspiring, soul-lifting programs for your sponsorship at very affordable rate. This includes Lenten message, Lenten half hour, Bible quiz, spiritual songs, Palm Sunday, greetings, drama, and lots more. For more inquiries, contact our marketing department, Kwara State Television Authority, Akpata Yakuba, Ilorin, or call the following numbers: 080-339-37253 or 080-623-98573 or 070-308-28017. Kwara State Television Authority wishes all brethren a fulfilling Lenten season.
You're welcome back. And on business, beans is a common food in most Nigerian homes and used for varieties of meals such as moi and akara, among others. The price of the commodity has started skyrocketing preparatory to the coming Ramadan fast as well as Christian Lenten season. Staff reporter Abdulateef Owolewa was at Ekpata Market and filed in this report. His report is presented from our studio.
A beans seller, Mukaila Dalame, disclosed that a big bag that was sold between 60,000 naira and 65,000 naira is now 70,000 naira. He added that a paint rubber sold at 2,500 naira is now 3,000 naira.
Before, 2.7, 2.8.
Some of the buyers, who include Mrs. Kudrat Yusuf and Janet Ishola, decried the incessant hike in prices of food items. The buyers attributed the hike in price of beans to the coming Ramadan fast and Lenten season. They condemned the exploitative tendencies of foodstuff dealers who they alleged indiscriminately jack up prices of foodstuff without any justifiable reason. At the time of filing in this report, a mudu of the commodity sold at 800 naira before is now 1,200 naira.
Before now, or less. So by last week Sunday, I've about to say it, but not much. Kò pọ̀ púpọ̀ náà tó fi lé, but ó tún ti gara.
Ike alágolo mẹ́jọ wọ́n ti sọ di 1,100 instead of 800. Yí funfun tiẹ̀ a máa rà ní 750 wọ́n ti sọ náà di 1,000 naira báyìí.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has debunked claims circulating on social media that it has secretly banned the antibiotic amoxicillin in Nigeria. In a public notice posted on its X platform on Monday, NAFDAC stated that the claim is entirely false. The agency clarified that while it routinely issues targeted safety alerts and recalls for specific substandard or affected batches of medicines, there is no blanket ban on amoxicillin. The agency emphasized that its safety communications, including recalls, safety alert, and blacklist, provide details on specific products, names, batch numbers, manufacturers, and necessary actions to protect patients and health care providers.
And on sports, Nigeria's Falconets will travel to Dakar on Tuesday for the second leg of their 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier against Senegal. Moses Aduku's side won the first leg 1-0 at the Moshood Abiola Sports Arena at Belkuta last Saturday. The early arrival in Dakar will give the Falconets adequate time to prepare for the crucial second leg tie. Report says the encounter will hold in Dakar on Saturday, where the winner will face either Guinea-Bissau or Malawi in the final qualifying round. Malawi held Guinea-Bissau to a 1-1 draw in the first leg last weekend.
On the continent of Africa, Guinea-Bissau's main opposition leader, Domingos Simeões Pereira, has been summoned to appear before a military court accused of links to multiple coup plots. Pereira, head of the PAIGC party that led Guinea-Bissau to independence in 1974, was arrested during the November coup that toppled President Umaru Sissoco Embalo Diallo just days after presidential elections. Although released last month, Pereira remains under house arrest over separate financial crime investigations. Now, the military says he is suspected of involvement in at least 2 attempted coups in late 2023 and October 2025. Guinea-Bissau has suffered 5 coups since independence, with chronic poverty, corruption, and drug trafficking fueling ongoing instability in the country. And that is the news from this end.
The Nope stand is waiting for Labari. That's the Nope version of the news. Kolo?
Ikube lozu ni be stukwa labari na ji medena. Gwamnatin Kwara Malam Abraman Abrazak hifo atenifu ku la edufe shiri etrai de Chichani Hamadu Bello na ci ilori abuneti kukuta shiri etrai na ajigwa kan rai to dukiyaji dekin abuna edufe wucin beje tare eti faruwa gidansa na beje kinya kayamun toshi bana tishi etrai de wuya ya gwamna eti shiri na jide a danyi a tsarai to dukiya zawangi dekin abuna gwamna Abrazak na yi ke yin da sa ko emigun gwamna je kin Najeriya na shibo goyo da ekanye gwala wuce ndoci na goyo beje hejivonya Abuja ina to esuna egba batu zagu twaba naji elokin kinyabu naji ayiku ejivoya owa onire nachi ekaru tetengi ifeludu kin kwara yi abuna agu de fifwani commissioner ya etuji Abdulkawi olododo de la gaskiya na tulahiti fifoya wani mai labari na tiya da wata labari kachu ya eka uncina Olajide Abolane Undugwa gama ya gwamna Abramana Abrazak to gwala etwaji heti kokari na de eji ela yakmashe de ben ya etwakin abu tope tokwana labarunci latula kide nimi zaguba nimi zaunci najide ayila na yi twachi nya eka ne laedan etulo de kin abu na bichipe nya kinigi chikoji na de agan aji da be kaya na ala ejelo dubaya INEC taking abuna na shawara ya ce kata majalisa titingi de kayan bebe na de la zawangi kin abu de ela nufi nyaje tulani na labari kace nya etu babuna de ku zizalo jivoya elori na yi eduta kin kwara na da wo nufi nya zawangi eti bichipe unchon Suleiman Azan de ku ziza de lo ejivoya elori da wo nufi ya zawangi bena shiri de edabani ya kulia ya zakama na beji ya gba tu eshi be wutron na wuya ke gami ya kulia ce kin Nigeria na ayejina de la zawangi de gagani ganin ina dai ala ya kuma shirin ya shirye kuliya ce na ma aji daidai da lokaci da na yi dan gba nina oye na shawara ya ce da dagwa zuma ezaba to iye lati wude chunyuna ni me gamionci yana dai kin gici koji da lati da mujin na shakpakun na ma aji da biyu na aji amfani da kaya ce na la ishe kuliya da lo daga ba ni shi ya ce kuliya da lo eka da la na kuliya ce da kin abun na ta da mujin tiya na gurmaga kin ji kawai daga aji da be game kuliya ce kin abun ya gbatu eshi be gube na la ishe kuliya de lo banaji eku ejeje de ye kana na fe bada be la barikuchi eti bichipe muchona alikali ndasako ya emopa alikali kin Nigeria gwalaji kin kwara yi abunnan Suleiman Hassan ko se mani de bada de shiri kuliya ce kin Nigeria ina de yeburulu de ebe beyanina ya nga egbapin de ngoyin na zawangi kin abun nan de akpegbon eti kuliya ce na jide dan zumoto na achin yegbole eti kuliya ce na ngbomi kede ka amfani jibe kaya na ala je kuliya de lo dubaya INEC na yina ala ya nama goyin sawangi a ciyana kin abun nama kata majalisa da eji zumatu nan latula ke da abike kaga shawara ya ce da ji eta be gamina na ke wala jin amfani be kaya uciya nama a jin amfani biyu nan baza lo yake da sawangi ke Nigeria yina eji nusa jilona nama goyin muji amfani be kayan na eti eje dilalo dubana zandu chibe na atofe bada be labari kuchi na latula ke de eda na kinigi chiko de jibe kayan na ke uyi na shekwaku na ke kin Nigeria de kagbo na waji amfani be kayan aga da lokacho ke ngoyi na emigun sawangiji emopa gwala siyasa to jeji egatona na ateza be kiniji koji na agaga mionchi de laje tile na afeji afani be kaya na ala eje de lo dobanu na uchofe gigana tishi kiniji koji goswe akpabio nga shawara ya ce daka de waba a game wuce de ya ce ya lokaci ke nuna nula shekmakun na ajin amfani biyu da lokaci na idan gbani ya kuliya nan nzagi mafari kin kwara duba ko Olufolake Abdulrazak de tagwa wuchani ya egi mankataji ya makata edigi na ci elori abun bana nga eda to ewo kokoroji de ya makata wuchina nzaji mafari jin bayana kede shiri na yi na ala yin gbafa debe ya nyamaci to jeji gogi pa eti enyi wace na jide a shiya egije to aziki dema debwanan Abdulatif Hamed dan ekayoncin ya etumba Kwara TV mo wuyake na fe la kaya wuce tagwa na ji eda to ego kokoro jina yin zaji mafari kin kwara ya bodo ba ko Olufolake Abdulrazak gan kaya wuce de dan ni min shiri wuce na mulki Abdurrahman de bebe ajin zumutu de ya sabangi de kin abobe e mopabe jeji e gatuna zaji mafari kin aba gan mulki Abdulrazak de na etubafi ene de alayin gbafa bin ya ejiji na de elipe eji misun ko atiniana na ma a yagwaji kata karatujo bin karatuji to na akwai ala to ne naji ala nasaraji bin efo yegboro nu njin bayani kede tukpape nya eji makata to zanaji ibe na katukunya wi energy sere ala ekmashe debe ya be kendo muliki gwani de ekwata be kayaji na jide a jin amfani be na la nasaraji debe makata to ejucho gangare na ndugwa gama ya makata eti ejuta to eye na elada eji makata na ma nkungwa yagba jede gwamnati Abdulrazak de afeloye eti energy ala yagba fa debe ya eji unchishina na utofe bazana tishi makata Rashidat Olanyinka didaji sere ya zaki mafari ken kwara hete wucunci na bebe ya eji makata na dokun emegutishi gwamnati na jidanza pe yime gwamna na so dugwa gama hete shiri wucunci na bebe na dokun makata to eji makata na jibaga pe labari kuchila la nima to nyagba fatula hete shirunci na ji abebe ya no eye kosun to eza ni wa yegburulu de ya ejina Aisha Hama patiji de la dabani be zawangije nya eji voyan wuro na ci ekagu tetenje kayama kin kwarai abu eti shiri gigasa na be ije kwala muchona Aisha Hama patiji na ye commissioner yapan ya ekagu tetenji alamari gichuje to yegburulu nya ejina ji alamari uchi kena je poponya matan sere bana yirai nya jeje pegwa pebicha de gogana ke nana muyena tanyagba sere na uje adua ya kucheje to ya liji nya jeje raya ji gogan faruwa uchona etru nya kayama alaji muhazu umar zawangije nya kayama emirate to gwamnati kin abu eti chuchu nya jeje raya ji de gogan ba faruwa uchona nga shiri nganana wa shiri egwacho eti etwa rayi to dukiyaje na la etufe lafiya de keje ben ya ejije de ekma ari wono nga shiri na ji de goyin na aguye lashi eti kokari jinle ya edufe lafiya shiri etwa to egwaka nya rayi to dukiya zawangi de kin abu commissioner bako unche de la nya gbatotula heti rayi na ji gogan bago na mawa begwala pata nya gwamnati to kindenje to gwala ya egwa bututu na bebe shiri wucheje ya zawangije nya ejivoya wuruna wabi gwala na ji egatona na aji kokari loye na abibe shiriji na la nyangmufa to etwa ben ya ekpanhari wa kin kwara no ezo yangi chinene na zawangije kin Nigeria ejin amfani beyin katata kona ezo ena elaji yangichi kama ke lelya kara eni to yangichi ndochi na ezo ena de elawon ugba ni taribe azun na bedan yeko ya adini ku baba nan labari kace Abdulatif Owolewa na ku labari na yeko na ko zizaju ko chine loju ko ipata na ci lórí abuna mo wuya kede na on fe baza be shiyan ezu na mukaila dan lami de latula kede jika nya ezo na afekun ewo jika shitun guta shigo to ewo jika shitun guta to ewo jika shi be gutuna yina ekun ewo jika shitun guta atu jika aratana roba nya oda na afekun ewo jika guo be gube be ganfina yina ekun ewo jika gweji gbani na dokun je shi ezo na ji badabe labari kuchiji na doma Kudirat Yusuf to Janet Isola la nyabata tula etikendo yangichi de ekemolo lo gbani na ma ajuye ba azun na ji ebedan yegboro ya adini gubaba na ala nyabata tula etikendo jeje ekun yangichi ela yope yangichi gbani amade ezni na ala tula na lokaci na afeku labari na yakana Congo nya ezo ta na afekun ewo jika gun shiwuran ta ga yakun ewo jika butu gbani awa bi gwala kwata nya gwamnati na abebe shiriji na din ewo yangici dake kin abunan bana mile labari lozo ne kana na kina da wala ide na gba ibi mission ya gina wala ide
ẹ kú ṣé èyí ni ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ láti lè ṣe mú máwòrán ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó kọlẹ̀ sí àpáta Àkùbá nílùú Ìlọrin. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara Abdulrahman Abdulrazak lọ́jọ́ tóní ti pe ìpàdé pàjáwìrì tó jẹ́ ti ìgbìmọ̀ aláàbò ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí sí ilé ìjọba tó wà nílùú Ìlọrin láti gbé agbára wọ ètò ààbò ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí àti láti dáàbò bo ẹ̀mí àti dúkìá àwọn ènìyàn. Ìpàdé ọ̀hún ló tẹ̀lé ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbésùmọ̀mí àti àkọlù tó wáyé ní ìlú Kayama nígbàtí ó ń bá àwọn olórí lájọ ètò ààbò ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí sọ̀rọ̀ lójúnà àti pinwọ́n gbogbo dídún kúkú lájà mọ́ ètò ẹ̀mí àti dúkìá àwọn ènìyàn. Gómìnà ọ̀hún tí ó tún jẹ́ alága àgbájọpọ̀ àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ gómìnà ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ní ìrètí wà wípé yóò bá àgbáríjọpọ̀ ìgbìmọ̀ ètò ọrọ̀ ajé nílẹ̀ yìí sọ̀rọ̀ lónìí àti lọ́la nílùú Àbújá. Gbogbo àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ méjèèjì tí wọ́n bá iléeṣẹ́ kan ṣiṣẹ́ èyí tí àwọn ajínigbé jí gbé lágbègbè ọwá oníròyìn láìpẹ́ yìí ló ti rí ìtúsílẹ̀ gbà. Kọmíṣánná fún ètò iṣẹ́ òde Abdulkawi Olódodo ló fìdí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí múlẹ̀ lónìí nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan yìí tí akọ̀wé ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ ọ̀hún Ọlájídé Abọ́lárìn fi síta. Ó wá kan sára sí gómìnà Abdulrahman Abdulrazak àti àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò gbogbo fún akitiyan wọn lójú náà ti gbé agbára wọ ètò ààbò aráàlú káàkiri tìbútòrò ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí àtẹ̀jáde náà ti fi léde, lára àwọn tí wọ́n jí gbé ọ̀hún láti rí àwọn amójú ẹ̀rọ méjì láti iléeṣẹ́ òde ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Àwọn olùwọ́de tí wọ́n fi ẹ̀hónú wọn hàn ló yàbò àbáwọlé ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àpapọ̀ lónìí nílùú Àbújá tí wọ́n béèrè fún àlàyé tó gbòòrò lórí ọ̀rọ̀ bí àwọn ènìyàn yóò ṣe máa rí èsì ìdìbò wò lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára ní kété tí wọ́n bá ti kà á tán, bí ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé ọ̀pọ̀ àríyànjiyàn ló ń wáyé lórí àtúngbéyẹ̀wò òfin ètò ìdìbò ilẹ̀ yìí. Àwọn tí ó fi ẹ̀hónú hàn náà ló jẹ́jẹ́ láti gbéná ojú àwọn ọmọ aṣòfin látàrí ìjábọ̀ wípé ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà kọ abala kan wípé kí wọ́n máa fi èsì ìdìbò hàn lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára kárí ayé ní kété tí wọ́n bá ti dì í tán. Ẹ̀wọ̀n ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà ti sọ wípé kò sí ọ̀rọ̀ wípé àwọn yẹ̀ nídìí ibi tí àwọn fi ọ̀rọ̀ sí lórí òfin yìí, nígbà tí àwọn tí ó fi ẹ̀hónú hàn ọ̀hún fi lé wípé òfin tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe ọ̀hún gbọ́dọ̀ ní ọ̀rọ̀ fífi èsì ìdìbò yìí hàn lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára nínú. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ìdìbò yìí náà láṣìwà ìpinnu ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà ilẹ̀ yìí láti kọ wípé kí èsì ìbò máa jáde lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára bí ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojú-ṣòfin ti gba àbá náà wọlé ni ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rí ìsọ̀rọ̀ sí àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Ikọ̀ ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa yìí lọ káàkiri ìlú Ìlọrin láti mọ bí ọ̀rọ̀ ti rí lọ́kàn wọn. Suleiman Azam mú àbọ̀ wá wípé àbájáde yìí wáyé bí a ṣe ń palẹ̀mọ́ fún ètò ìdìbò ọdún 2027. Àtúnṣe òfin ìdìbò ilẹ̀ yìí tí wọ́n ń pète rẹ̀ ni ó ti di àríyànjiyàn báyìí. Àbá àwọn èyí tí wọ́n ń ṣe láti gbé agbára wọ ètò ìdìbò ilẹ̀ yìí kí ó lè bá òde òní mu ni ó ti di gbígbà wọlé lẹ́yìn tí àwọn ọmọ aṣòfin ti ṣe àríyànjiyàn tí wọ́n sì fọwọ́ sí wẹ́wẹ́ lẹ́yọlẹ́yọ. Ọ̀kan nínú àwọn ìpinnu tí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà ṣe tí ó sì mú àríyànjiyàn lọ́wọ́ ní kíkọ àbá kí àwọn ènìyàn máa rí èsì ìbò lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára ní kété tí wọ́n bá ti dì í tán ní ibi ìdí àpótí ìbò kí ó sì lọ sí inú àpótí èsì ìdìbò àjọ INEC lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n bá ti kà á. Ṣùgbọ́n dípò èyí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà ní kí abala òfin ìbò ọdún 2022 ó máa ṣiṣẹ́ lọ. Nígbà tí ó ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí alága ẹgbẹ́ amòfin nílẹ̀ yìí ẹ̀ka ti ìlú Ìlọrin Suleiman Azan Koseimani jẹ́ kó dúnmọ̀ wípé ìlànà ètò ìdìbò orílẹ̀ yìí ti ń rí ìdàgbàsókè tí ó tún sọ wípé ẹ̀kọ́ tí wọ́n ti kọ́ láti ibi ètò ìdìbò tí ó kọjá ni yóò fún àwọn èyí tí ó ń bọ̀ lágbára. Ó ní ó ṣeé ṣe kí ètò èsì ìbò lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára yìí ó jẹ́ kí a rí ètò ìdìbò tí ó mọ́yán lórí. Ó yẹ kí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn aráàlú lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó di èyí tí wọn yóò ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò rẹ̀ níbi tí àwọn aṣojú aráàlú yóò ti wà nílé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin méjèèjì. Àwọn mìíràn tí ó tún sọ̀rọ̀ sọ wípé àwọn kọminú lórí bí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà ṣe ń pinnu láti kọ àbá èsì ìdìbò lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára àti pé orílẹ̀-èdè yìí lè ṣe ohun tuntun yìí pẹ̀lú. Obìnrin àkọ́kọ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara Ambassador Olúfọlákẹ́ Abdulrasaq ti nawọ́ ìfẹ́ sí àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ àwọn àkàndá ẹ̀dá ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí nígbà tí ó pín bàtà iléèwé àti ẹ̀wù àwọ̀lékè tí ó ń kọ́ mọ̀nàmọ́ná. Ọwọ́ ìṣòro yìí ni aya gómìnà ṣe àlàyé pé yóò dín ìṣòro àwọn òbí àti alágbàtọ́ kù lójúnà àti ra àwọn èròjà iléèwé fún àwọn ọmọ wọn. Abdulateef Ahmed láti ilé-iṣẹ́ wa yìí wá níbi ayẹyẹ náà ó sì mú àbọ̀ wá wípé nígbà tí ó ń pín àwọn èròjà náà bíi bàtà iléèwé àti ẹ̀wù àwọ̀lékè tí ó ń kọ́ mọ̀nàmọ́ná yìí obìnrin àkọ́kọ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara òun jẹ́ kí ó di mọ̀ wípé àwọn ohun èlò wọ̀nyí jẹ́ ojú ìtùnú lọ nítorí ojúwe ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tuntun bí ètò ìṣèjọba Abdulrahman Abdulrasaq ń ṣètò rẹ̀ papọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn alẹ́nulọ́rọ̀. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti wí aya gómìnà jẹ́ kí ó di mọ̀ wípé ètò ìṣèjọba Abdulrahman Abdulrasaq ń ṣètò ìpínlẹ̀ tí ó dára tó jẹ́ wípé ọmọ kọ̀ọ̀kan gbọ́dọ̀ lè fi ìgbéyà dúró nínú yàrá ìkàwé láì fi ti ibi tí ó ti jáde ṣe kí ó sì ṣetán láti kàwé kó kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kó láàlá rere ọjọ́ ọ̀la kí ó sì lu àlùyọ. Ó tẹ̀gbẹ́lẹ́mọ̀ wípé bí a bá fún ọmọ ní ẹ̀kọ́ pẹ̀lú àkànṣe ètò ní ipa tí ó fi ń bójútó bí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan ti rí àti wípé bí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ṣe ń dá sí ètò ẹ̀kọ́ yìí ṣe ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bíi ọlọ́dọni kí wọ́n lè ní ìmọ̀ láti lè dádúró kí wọ́n sì ṣe àṣeyege ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ wọn àti láwùjọ. Ó wá kan sára sí àwọn olùkọ́ fún ṣíṣe àbójútó àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tí ó sì fi dá wọn lójú wípé ètò ìṣèjọba Abdulrasaq kò ní fi ohunkóhun sílẹ̀ láì ṣe lójú náà àti mú ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà bọ̀ sípò. Nígbà tí ó ń fèsì ọ̀gá àgbà ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀hún Rasheedat Ọláyínká dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ aya gómìnà fún ọwọ́ ìfẹ́ náà tí ó sì wòye pé èyí yóò tún ran àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ́wọ́ ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀hún. Díẹ̀ nínú àwọn èèkàn nídìí iṣẹ́ ọba tí ó kọ̀ wọ́n ní pẹ̀lú aya gómìnà gbóríyìn fún obìnrin àkọ́kọ́ náà fún ohun tí ó ṣe yìí. Díẹ̀ nínú àwọn olùkọ́ àti akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà tí ó bá ikọ̀ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ìnáwó ìfẹ́ yìí ló sọ rírí ipa ohun tí aya gómìnà ṣe yìí yóò ní lára wọn wípé àwọn mọ̀ lóore o. Ní ilẹ̀ káyàmọ́lọ́hún akínkan fún ìdàgbàsókè ẹsẹ̀ kùkú àti ẹni tí ó mọ bí àti ìrúnilọ́kàn sókè lẹ́sẹ̀ kùkú Aisha Mọ̀npátẹ́jì ti bá àwọn ènìyàn ìlú Wọ́rọ́ ní ẹkùn káyàmọ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara kẹ́dùn látàrí àkọlù tí àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí ṣe sí wọn
láìpẹ́ yìí Aisha Mọ̀npádéjì tó ti fi ìgbà kan rí jẹ́ kọmíṣánná fún ọ̀rọ̀ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ àti ọ̀rọ̀ oyè tó fi mọ́ ìdàgbàsókè agbègbè ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara ṣe àpèjúwe ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ọ̀hún bí èyí tí ó burú tí ó bà nínú jẹ́ nítorí bí ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀mí àwọn aláìṣẹ̀ ṣe ṣòfò ó dunni jọjọ ó wá gbàdúrà fún ẹ̀mí àwọn tí ó di olóògbé náà tó sì bá ìdílé gbogbo tí ọ̀rọ̀ kàn kẹ́dùn pàápàá àwọn tí ó sọ ẹni bí ọkàn wọn nù ẹ̀mí àti ilẹ̀ káyàmọ́ Alhaji Muazu Omar gbogbo àwọn ènìyàn ilẹ̀ káyàmọ́ lápapọ̀ àti ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara bí a ti ń kẹ́dùn yìí tí ó ti ṣe àpèjúwe ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà bí àdánù ńlá ó wá rọ gbogbo àwọn aláṣẹ tọ́rọ̀ kàn láti pakún akitiyan wọn lójúnà àti mú kí àlàáfíà ó jọba kí ààbò tó péye ó sì wà láwọn agbègbè wa gbogbo ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara pàápàá ní apá àríwá tàbí ju ibẹ̀ lọ ó ní pípa àwọn aláìṣẹ̀ yìí ń dẹ́rù bani ó sì tún pè fún kí ìjọba ó ní ìfarajìn sí àlàáfíà ààbò àwọn ènìyàn. Ẹ̀wà jẹ́ oúnjẹ tí ó wọ́pọ̀ láàrin ọ̀pọ̀ ìdílé tí wọ́n sì máa ń lò fún ọ̀pọ̀ oúnjẹ jíjẹ bíi mọ́ínmọ́ín àti àkàrà tàbí àwọn ohun mìíràn. Iye tí wọ́n ń ta èròjà oúnjẹ yìí ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbé ẹnu sókè bí ààwẹ̀ Ramadan àti lẹ́ǹtì tí ó jẹ́ ti mùsùlùmí àti kìrìsìtẹ́nì ṣe ń wọlé dé yìí. Aṣojúkọ̀rọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ wa yìí Abdulateef Owólẹ́wà wà nínú ọjà àpáta tí ó sì mú àbọ̀ wípé òǹtajà ẹ̀wà kan Mukaila Danlami sọ wípé àpò ẹ̀wà tí ó bá tóbi tí wọ́n ń tà ní ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgọ́ta náírà tẹ́lẹ̀ àti ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà márùndínláàádọ́rin ló ti di ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà àádọ́rin báyìí. Ike ọ̀dà kan tí wọ́n ń tà ní ẹgbẹ̀rún méjì àbọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ti di ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́ta náírà báyìí. Díẹ̀ nínú àwọn òǹrajà bíi arábìnrin Kudirat àti arábìnrin Janet Ìṣọ̀lá ló bá ikọ̀ ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa yìí sọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n sì kọminú lórí bí owó ẹ̀wà yìí ṣe ń gòkè sí ní gbogbo ìgbà àti àwọn oúnjẹ mìíràn. Wọ́n sọ wípé ààwẹ̀ Ramadan àti lẹ́ǹtì tí ó ń bọ̀ yìí ló jẹ́ kí owó gegege gun àwọn oúnjẹ wọ̀nyí. Wọ́n bu ẹnu àtẹ́lu bí àwọn òǹtajà ṣe ń rẹ́ àwọn ènìyàn jẹ nípa gbígbé owó lé àwọn oúnjẹ lọ́jà láì ní ìdí kan pàtó tí wọ́n fi ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Níbi tí a rí ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ta lẹ́yìn mọ́ rèé yóò kú lọ́la lágbára Èdùmàrè tí a tún mú àkọ́tún wá fún yín abọ́mi rèé Fúnkẹ́.
Okay, thank you for joining us on the news tonight. But before we go, Camille.
We sincerely thank you for being part of the news for tonight. I remain Kamil Sadiq.
Kulu? Iya fi dani sai sun ya kifi labaru wurin bayana tsunami kulu jiya ya isilai su kwa yeli.
Títí di ọ̀la